Good evening, salutations, my GH fans. You know what? I want to talk about the trial for a minute. I want to talk about the trial specifically because here's the thing. If Trina is found guilty, people are going to lose their ish about it. Okay? People are going to lose it. And you know what? I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. Now, I generally, me specifically, I try to stray away from conversation that involves race and things of that nature, unless, it's about the episode or, it's stuff that goes on in real life. And unfortunately, you do have people of color that have been in prison for crimes and things of that nature that they didn't do. So watching that, depending on which way this trial goes, watching that is going to be upsetting. Okay, it's going to be upsetting. And all I'm going to sit there and say is try not to knock the people that are upset about this, and don't try to make it seem like, oh, well, it's just a TV show, it doesn't really matter. And it's like, don't do that. Just don't do that for so many reasons that I'm just not going to get into. Just don't do that. So Trina goes up there, she gives a testimony. Um, you have, I forget her name for me. Yeah, Diana came in there, and then you had the DA, the assistant DA, come in and do her cross-examination. And, you know, watching it, one can look at it and be like, this chick is not there trying to railroad Trina, just to advance her career. One second. Trying to railroad Trina to advance her career, and, it just looked like she's trying to railroad her. I can see how a lot of people can think that. But then I also look at it and I'm just like, optics, it looks bad. Okay, because she can't account for her whereabouts. It was proven that she was upset before she went in her room, jealousy and everything like that. So, the thing is, the DA, a lot of these other people don't know who Trina is. So while I'm sitting there watching, be like, yo, listen, Trina's not like that. These people don't know that. So it's her job to sit there and try to prove that it's possible that she did that. But I think that Diane did a great job as far as, giving reasonable doubt. And honestly, tell you the truth, that's the best outcome that you can get in a situation like that where there's really no proof that she didn't do it. It's Trina's word versus Esme, and Trina is the one that's holding the bag. So I have this bad feeling like they're going to just put her away. They're just gonna they're gonna find her guilty and she's gonna go to jail. And I feel like they'll do that for a couple of reasons. One, honestly, to tell you the truth, they find her now guilty. People will still watch, but I feel like people will watch a lot more if they find her guilty. Even if they're watching it because they're really angry with the outcome and they want to see how it's going to unfold. So I feel like that's the most likely scenario. Yeah, I feel like that's the most likely scenario. So just, that happens, you might want to just kind of brace for that. So, Willow talks to Britt, talks to Terry, and, she's like, is it possible to have, leukemia or whatever? And she's like, listen, we don't know. We're not going to know anything until we get the test back. And, of course, she finds another reason to lie to Michael. It's gotten to a point where it's like, I don't even get mad anymore. Like in the beginning I was getting annoyed. And I'm just like, okay, sure, whatever, Willow. Let's just sit there and just keep lying to him. Just finding more reasons to keep lying to him. Meanwhile, this dude is sitting there walking around the hospital, calling her, nervous as hell. Like, what are you doing? Now she has to sit there and take this, do this procedure, which is going to be kind of painful. But she's like, "Hey, listen, I want to do this now, get it out the way, and find out what's going on." And then what happens once you find out what's going on? Are you going to sit there and tell them then, or are you just going to sit there and just never tell them? Like, I feel like this is one of those things where she's going to find ways to justify her lying to Michael, and it is going to start to get annoying. I think I just had a good day, so I'm not as annoyed with her, but I feel like it's going to start to get annoying after a while, or I'm going to start to get annoyed again. And I'm not gonna lie, it's like for me, it's really scary when Britt is being nice to someone, like nice to her, giving her compliments, talking about how brave she is. I'm just like, man, it's like it feels like she's got to prepare for the worst. Feels like she got to prepare for the worst. So yeah, definitely, Liz checked herself out way too soon. She drops her papers. She's playing something in the back of her head, something about her calling her Smith saying daddy or something, some sort of trauma that happened maybe. But she drops her stuff, her papers, Willow's papers. And Ben finds her, brings her back to his office, and after she's settled down and everything like that, she's all like, "Well, I'm ready to go back to work." And Ben is like, no, you're not. What are you talking about? No, no, no. I just lost my balance. I'm going to be okay. It almost kind of makes this whole checking in a Shady Brook, kind of pointless. I mean, we all know why she did it. Says where the actress can sit there and get some vacay time. But I'm like, you checked yourself in a Shady Brook because you felt like you were a danger to everyone around you, including your kids. You go against the advice of Terry and Britt, coming back to work too soon. Then you have another episode at work. And instead of you being like, listen, let me just fall back for a little bit, let me just chill. Nah, I'm good. Even when Finn brings up, like, all right, listen, you checked yourself in there once, you did it for your kids, why don't you do that again? Are you sitting there saying I'm a bad mother? What the? When did he actually say that? Where was those words that came out of his mouth? Because I didn't hear anything. So she gets all super defensive for him. And she opens up the door, and Terry's like, "Hey, what's going on, Biz?" And she just walks past. I'm like, what are you doing with this character? What are you doing with this character? And I feel like I want to ask a question: does anyone actually care about Liz's storyline at this point right now? I mean, because if you do, don't you wish that it was actually they showed her a little bit more? This is a problem when you start adding three new characters in there. What we got? Dax, we got Rory, we got Cody, we got Liz that's been there for 25 something years, and yet her story keeps getting, kicked to the side for three new characters. Three new characters. This woman literally celebrated 25 years on this show. We're just now getting into this whole Liz thing. I would like to keep that going, but at some point they're going to sit there and start talking about Dex and Sunny. And I mean, here's the thing: I feel like I feel like Liz kind of knew for a while that it was a Sunny show, even in the beginning. But now it's like it's not just Sunny; it's Sunny, it's Dax, it's Cody, it's Rory. It's like it's the trial. It's everything except for Liz at some point. And I'm like, are we really like what are we doing? And then of course you got dumbass scenes like yesterday when you had Felicia and Mac. And by the way, there's something I forgot to comment about yesterday as far as when the elevator went out and Liz and Ben was there It seemed like they were kind of gassed or whatever. And Finn looked like he ran a marathon. I was like, bro, if you're that winded from walking down some flights of stairs, maybe you need to spend more time in the gym. Okay, because nobody should be that winded. I just remember watching it yesterday. I was just like, God, those stairs. I was like, yeah, I know, but like you need some water. Like you about to faint. Like what's going on with you two? Like how do you people have sex if you can't even walk? Never mind. So at the end of Trina's testimony, um, Spencer got arrested. Spencer got arrested. And Jocelyn gave him props or whatever before they came, and so now I guess we'll just wait and see. Um, Speaking of that, now you got the last thing that we saw was Esme just being knocked off the balcony, and then Nicholas, he kept asking questions like, "Yo, listen, you try to kill her or whatever?" After she convinced him, like, "Hey, listen, I didn't do it. We were fighting. It was an accident." Then comes the cover up. Okay, then comes the what if she what if she survived? What if she didn't? At first, Ava was going to call the cops. Nicholas was like, no, no, don't do that. Because most likely you're going to get arrested. Now, the thing is, if Esme, I'm assuming that Esme is alive. I cannot sit there and just imagine that they just killed her off. But, for the sake of argument, if she is dead, eventually the truth is going to raise to the surface. I say that laughingly because I'm still like, so at some point, when is Curtis going to find out that Trina's really his daughter? Because we all know that. Okay, we all know that. I know a lot of people is like they like Trina with Tagger and everything like that, and it's going to be all hard and everything. But let's be honest, this secret has been going for what 3 years now? 3 years, and I remember I think it being 3 years, or maybe sooner, because that's how long I've been doing YouTube for since 2019 or the end of 2019. Anyway, this secret has been going on for a while. But eventually, that's going to come up to the light of day at some point. Um, Jordan and Curtis didn't really do too much of anything. They were just sitting there trading theories, talking about Oz or whatever still being in a medically induced coma. So all their theories and everything like that, it didn't really add up to anything. I felt like it was mostly just them catching people up to what's been going on. So they didn't really do anything new. Um, Curtis did ask TJ to sit there and wake, you know, the guy up from the coma. And I'm like, bro, you can't just tell him, oh, just wake him up from the coma. Well, it's Trina's last, it's Trina's, it's her last chance. I was like, bro, it wouldn't really be her last chance if you were doing more than just sitting on your ass since the beginning of this trial started. He should have been hitting the ground running from jump. Okay? He should have been hitting the ground running from jump. Trina's mother should have been, at the very least, listen, if he's not going to actually be a PI, hire a damn PI. Do some legwork. Do something. Other than just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. And now you want TJ 1 second. It's like I had sunlight and then it just. Now you want to sit there and try to rush him like, oh, just bring him out of the coma. TJ was like, yo, listen, there's a good chance if I do that, he'll kill him. So we're not going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like he may not be your Hail Mary. Again, you probably should have did the legwork yourself, but whatever. Michael came in late to the game as far as the episode. Didn't really do anything. Didn't really contribute to anything. But I do feel bad for him because Willow is not being honest with him. And when he did see Willow and he was sitting there talking about, oh, unlike now, at least, at least you're sitting there being honest with me from jump or whatever. And she's all like, like, so I feel bad for her. Because the thing is, even if Willow doesn't know if she has it or not, the fact that she may have it can give him time to prepare emotionally. But instead, she just, well, you know at this point what she's doing. I feel like that's about it. I'm gonna be honest. I really do. I don't. I feel like tomorrow's episode is gonna be a little bit more better than today's episode. Today was okay. It was mostly about the trial though. The trial was like the main focus, and everything else is kind of like sprinkled in for the most part. They touched on Liz stuff again, but they don't really like. Here's the thing: we still don't know what's going on with Liz, and let's think about how long this started. This started like I could have swore like maybe 2 months ago. And at one point we thought it was something supernatural. Then we're sitting there thinking it's DID. And today an episode happens and we still don't know anything that's going on with Liz. A character that's been on the show for over 25 years. And we still don't know anything that's going on. In what universe does that make sense? Sad, because when you really stop and think about it, you honestly think they would treat, their quote unquote heavy hitters that way. Sonny, Carly, Jason. Well, okay, Jason not on the show, but you know what I mean. They wouldn't sit there and do that to them. But yet, this woman has been doing this for 25 something years, and we're getting like little sprinkles of stuff in there. Oh, I'm not even exactly the biggest Liz fan. I don't hate her, I'm just saying. But, like, really? Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.